And welcome to The Corner. I'm the Frosted Glass, and I'm joined by my fellow Alabaster Savages, Jack Gunsky.
I'm just so impressed that we have the world's oldest man on our show tonight.
Yeah, he was streaming back in the 50s. Moonshock, if he's
Hello.
back. Terry Diamantis.
Hey, everyone.
And this week's special guest, Dawg Knight.
Hi there. And I'm only 108. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, almost in Biden territory. And I'd like to start off this stream with a question. And that question is saying "you guys" offensive?
Yes.
It's 2021. Everything is offensive.
God, the you guys thing again was it's like what's that Christmas song they always throw up over?
Baby, it's cold outside.
Baby out cold outside. You guys is like the baby it's cold outside of the common lexicon.
I'm waiting for them to do some kind of retro bullshit like, we're going to ban the movie Goonies because Sloth says, hey, you guys.
I think they should ban it. I think you make an excellent case.
Now, you guys is y'all for Northerners and Westerners.
It's
That's
not
all
as...
it
What was that?
That's all it is. It's y'all for Northerners.
Yeah, but it's sexist.
Well, we already determined that you can't say hey folks when
You can if you
when
use an
saying
X.
yeah,
You can if you use an X.
FOLX.
Folks.
Jesus Christ. Nothing we say is ever going to be good enough. No matter what we come up with, there's always going to be some sort of ridiculous sideways way you can look at it and interpret it as offensive. And the second that they manage to eliminate all language, then they're just going to start going in on the language they've already created.
Yes.
The whole debate around the term "you guys" was brought to my attention a few months ago. I was giving a speech in front of a large group of people and addressed them as "you guys." I thought this was totally fine, respectful, correct. Unbeknownst to me,
Point
though,
of personal privilege. Point of personal privilege.
Go ahead.
I think that this whole you guys notion, it's triggering my anxiety.
I really hope they do another one of those gatherings. That was
Yeah,
hilarious.
that was great.
Oh, it was
Well,
beautiful. Beautiful.
as a woman, I'm thinking you got to stop saying you guys.
For the rest of the stream, I'm a woman.
Just saying.
Unbeknownst to me, though, was that I offended someone pretty seriously. After the speech, a woman came up to me and told me that my speech, which ironically was about inclusion, was discriminatory due to my use of the word guys. She stated that a speech about inclusivity isn't inclusive if the one giving the speech is using exclusionary language. She even stated that I was inching towards sexism for this usage.
You want to know what I think about...
I'm surprised inching isn't offensive because penises are usually measured in inches.
I think that this person is also messing with the grammar, because it sounds to me like they accidentally introduced some letters or introduced some words and then took out some. Like, you could easily, where after the speech, a women, you could have replaced a with like some women came up to me and told me that.
This is medium. What do you expect from them? Editors?
Apparently, grammar is a challenge for them. So
You know, correct grammar is white supremacy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
I just want to say, do you know what almost sexism is? Not sexism.
Exactly.
He's
That's
inching
what it
towards
is.
Can we say you gucks? Is that okay?
Gucks.
Yeah, GUX. Can we say that?
As long as you don't pronounce the U like an OO, You know, because that might be awkward.
Or you'd have to pronounce it Geiks.
One might think that this is a bit on the extreme end of being woke. I mean, labeling someone in such a manner for simply using a seemingly laid-back, easygoing phrase seems a bit off. I know that's what I thought at first.
Yeah, and an easygoing phrase that's been used for how many centuries now?
As an individual,
teenage girls in Wisconsin to stop saying you guys.
Guys,
Come on, let's go, you guys. Come on, can we go, you guys? Let's go, guys. Come on, let's go, you guys.
I'm pretty sure that Dr. Functional came up with the most inclusive word so far.
G-O-O-X.
Worthy of Terry's China variant.
C-H-I-N-X?
Oh my god.
You're just now getting it?
Oh, good lord.
As an individual who is a self-proclaimed activist, fighting against discrimination, advocating for all groups of people, I did not know that such exclusion could lay in my linguistic abilities.
Oh, and P-Dog, it's China X, not what you think it is.
No, it's chance.
I can read. I read real good.
My mind wandered. I thought that this was an issue rooting back to our location of residence. You see, where I'm from, the Midwestern United States, this is the way we address people. Guys here pretty much means people. Or that's at least what I thought was the case before this occurrence.
Oh. Well, you were right then, and you're wrong now.
Well, and this person is basing this entire fucking story off of one stupid piece of shit little, I'm offended that you called me a guy. Like, just shut the hell up and live your life.
You know, I'm offended you call that a water fountain because I prefer you call it a bubbler like we do in Wisconsin.
It's a hydration station. Get it right.
I think that if you get offended so much that you need to tell the person like who's in charge of the speech about it, then society should just kill you.
You should just die immediately, just blow up.
Wow.
Just kill them. That's all there is to it.
I may have not gone that harsh.
Jack goes from 0 to death squads in 2.5 seconds.
Maybe a ruler across the fingers first and then death.
I mean, listen, obviously targeting massive groups of people for genocide is a bad thing, but if we got rid of all the Karens, would society really be worse off?
Oh.
Just saying.
By the way, you just said the magic word.
What, Karen?
My dog heard that.
Wow. You're talking for the dog gate or something?
Oh yeah, she heard that that ding, and she's like, "What?
Wait, Mr. Pavlov, is that you?"
No, that's Jack sicking the dogs on the Karens.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was going to say before my dog so rudely interrupted us, is with Jack, it's like the ruler to the knuckles, and then you get thrown into a renderer and turned into biofuel.
Okay.
Yes. This is the kind of shit that we have to put up with on a weekly basis.
You signed up for this.
No.
Exactly.
No.
P-Dog fully endorses all of Jack's comments.
I was excited.
or that's at least what I thought was the case before this occurrence. I thought this woman must have not been from the Midwest. I thought that this must be a difference between different people living in different locations of the United States. The woman turned out to be from the Midwest, though, which confused me even more. She was actually a professor not close to my area of residence. So then, like any person living in the 21st century, I decided to go on the internet and look up what all this was about, the circumstances surrounding what I had just experienced. As I thought even deeper, I realized that when I was
wait. Did this motherfucker just say he looked this up in the dictionary? Is that what did he say?
You looked it up online.
Online, or that too. Oh, good.
Because if it's on the internet, it must be true.
Yeah,
that's right.
That is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Would society really be worse off if it didn't have this person in it? Just saying.
No, just bury this person underneath a tree and let it grow over them.
Look, if this person didn't exist, we wouldn't have this article. So yes, the world would be worse off.
That's
have
right.
A hell of a lot better grammar, I'll tell you that much.
She must have not been from the Midwest.
I've never been to the Midwest before.
As I thought even deeper, I realized that when I was talking to groups of women prior to this occurrence and referred to them as guys, I was usually met by an awkward silence. This then put me into a state of question. I was confused and asked myself, am I being sexist without knowing it?
Well,
you can't be sexist without knowing it.
That, and a lot of times, I'll even admit that if I see a group of women, I won't say guys, I'll say ladies or gals, stuff like that. I know the difference between a group of women and a group of men, or a mixed group. If it's a mixed group, you're gonna say guys, or everyone, stuff like that. You're not gonna be dumb enough to say, "Hey guys," when you're addressing an entire group of fucking women.
We Australians have solved this. Cunts refers to all male, all female, all mixed. You can use it no matter what the composition of the group.
Okay.
Oi cunts is the universal greeting.
So I used to coach basketball this summer. They coached girls teams, and the girls say it all the time. That's what I'm saying here. It's the upper Midwest, and it's a West Coast thing too. Everyone says,
yes.
Fuck this.
Yes. And having grown up on the West Coast, I can confirm that.
I'm a New Englander here, and everyone I know says, "Hey guys."
Yeah, same with me.
Well, you are all very, very sexist, and you should adopt the Australian model.
Hey, you cunts!
Yeah, I know Dr. Functional has a point. It should be kunks.
Yes.
Oh, kunks. Yes.
So Frosted, just so you can please Terry from now on, whenever you start your streams, just say, "How you doing, cunts?"
And gentlemen.
Yeah. Good evening, cunts and gentlemen.
Simple answer: I was being sexist without knowing it. Oh, Son liked that one.
Yes, Son liked those ones. She actually laughed twice.
After a bit of research, I figured out the handling of the word guys has spurred a giant debate, which has been going on for years.
Well, I've got something you can put a handle on, but I don't care what you call me.
How old is the person writing this? You got to be kidding me.
Their name is so generic.
50.
I mean, you haven't heard this stupid debate before.
The name is so generic, though. Looking it up, you'd probably match like at least 50,000 or more other people.
Honestly, people like this are typically academics,
Sam
which is what
Martin.
blows me out. That people with something resembling a semblance of intelligence get bogged down in this absolutely moronic trash. I mean, even just going beyond the obvious corruption it speaks for a university system, just that a person that has any intelligence whatsoever gets riled up over modern vernacular to this extent that it becomes like a personal issue. It blows my mind.
This is like I have a bunch of, for example, when I went down to Des Moines this last weekend, I met with a bunch of my guy friends, right? The guys I went to college with. And I walked in the bar and I said, "Hey, what's up, bitches?" And and when the one guy got offended, "Why would you call us bitches? I mean, do I a woman?" I said, "Well, no, but I thought you transitioned." He said, "No, I didn't transition." I said, "Oh, well, good. What's up, bitches?" And he said, "Wait, you shouldn't use that because that is sexist."
Did you say, "Do you write for Medium?"
No, I said, "Shut up, bitch."
See, if he said, "Do I look like a bitch?" then I would have said, "Okay, that's kind of the Pulp Fiction reference." I could have given him that, but he ruined it.
Like, Australian, they say cunt, I say bitch. It's the same principle.
Some state that mentioning guys to address a group of people is offensive and exclusionary. Others call this woke feminism gone too far. Wrong too, by the way, for an
Yes.
overly extreme case of political correctness. This is just
Correct.
not true, though. After an abundance of research, I discovered that many women, and especially non-binary and transgender individuals, feel ignored and suppressed by the use of this word.
Good.
Suppressed or oppressed?
Or just pressed. I don't know.
Help, help, I'm being repressed.
The word is not as all-encompassing or inclusive as some might think or say. This is why the usage of it has really been called into question as of late.
Wait, is the usage of it not all inclusive, or are some pedantic little idiots not including themselves deliberately?
Yes.
Some hoe whining, that's all.
So this is how popular the San Martin is. 2 articles, 4 followers, and they are following more people than they have followers. And they consider them a writer, a traveler, and an activist.
Honestly, I don't even give a fuck how many followers you have. If you're dumb, you're dumb. The stupid speaks for itself.
What kind of douche, when they're asked what they do, says, "I'm a traveler"?
People that, I'm not
A
driving, I'm
sovereign
traveling.
citizen.
Yes, a sovereign citizen.
I asked one of my close friends, a trans woman, on her opinion of issue.
Not the issue, just issue.
No.
It says that on her opinion of issue.
Can I write a Medium article to just say how bad this fucking grammar triggers me? It's like, if you don't have grammar right, you trigger me.
Who wrote this? A chimp?
Well, policing grammar is racist. We learned that last week.
Oh,
I'd
that's right.
actually be impressed if this was written by a chimp.
Yeah.
What if I told you about calling black people chimps, Jack?
Hey, now. Hey, now. Hey, you know what's most surprising about this article so far?
What?
What?
This guy has a friend.
I mean, it could be a stuffed animal.
I mean,
No, he's not a friend. He's a
Nope.
Frinkson.
close friend, trans
Friction.
close friend, trans woman. I heard you say that.
Now it's just like a teddy bear that he like glued boobs onto, so he calls it a trans woman.
And also there's a mysterious hole in the back of it.
Oh.
He calls it crusty. I never.
Nice.
Oh, I got sun.
No, I think I got that one from the time delay.
I never take the use of this term personally. I know there was no malintent. Still, as a trans woman, there is a slight flashback which is unavoidable. It brings me back to times I would rather not remember. No one wants to revisit a time they weren't themselves. I feel like all transgender individuals can relate.
I just like, this is obviously 2 people in one body because it's
No
a trans
kidding.
women.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though: a trans woman from the Midwest would still be saying, "Hey, you guys, let's go get something to eat." So I don't know what the problem is.
That's trans Wimixon, thank you.
This surprised me, since it showed what much of us don't understand, that we might inadvertently bring pain to one's life by our choice of words.
No, I thought it was because you're a complete retard and you don't have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, microaggression.
I would just like to take this. If I've ever accidentally offended anyone in the audience, I don't care.
This is a real concern we, as a society, should be aware of.
We live in a society.
In the English language, as well as many other languages, male-based generics are the default, the norm. Think mankind instead of humankind. By using this type of language, we are actually ignoring individuals. This is because we
Oh,
are
wait.
only addressing the males in the room.
That is
Wait.
actually very wrong.
How about we phrase it the other way around? By having men default as the generic, it implies that society thinks that men are disposable. See,
No, but
you can
for
play
real,
this game any way you want.
Only
no,
white
but
men.
for real, man used to refer to person, and there was like wereman for a male person, and whiffman for a female person, and over time the man just became like the male just became man, and the females stayed woman or whiffman to woman. So men are the ones who lost their gender signifier. So like we are not men by default. We have to sort of just be generic person, whereas they get a special identifier as women. So I mean,
Wait,
strictly speaking,
the men lost their what?
their gender signifier. Like
You mean
they
like
used to.
Jenner?
I'd rather not. I'd rather keep my gender signifier if you don't mind.
Prefer to
No,
keep
but like
there.
man used to just mean adult person, and wereman was the term for a man, like a male, and
No.
whiffman was the term for a female.
Are you
And then
saying
over
yeah, man? What the hell did you just say?
wereman, WERE. You know, like werewolf,
A wham?
werewolf. Yeah, a
Oh,
wereman.
Wereman.
Oh, where man?
Wereman.
Oh,
Wereman was man. Whiffman
Yes,
was woman.
yes.
Well, I thought that where man is what Biden asks when he's like, where man?
What about
That too.
No, but Terry, this
Is-
guy said he looked it up online. He knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
Is Wolfman like the werewolf kind of thing, or
Yeah,
here's
so-
the DJ from the 70s.
So
Hmm?
WERE, I believe, is the prefix for like man, as in like adult male, and that's why like werewolf is like a man wolf,
Ah,
and so a
Alright.
wereman is like adult male human.
except I've never heard of a Wix wolf. Or no, what is it? What was the other one you said? We got a
Whiff-
wereman. And what was the
Whiffman?
other one? Whiff. I've never heard of a whiff wolf.
Sounds like the name of like
In
a
fact, try to say
hoity-toity.
Try to say whiff wolf 10 times really fast.
I put it in chat.
Whiff wolf.
Whiff wolf.
Whiff wolf.
Whiff.
Whiff wolf. That's kind of hard to do.
Well, I just had a thought. If you were to replace the E with an X in men, would that be Mexan? Would people south of the border be offended by that?
Hopefully,
If a wereman bites another
Depending on which
man,
border you're
does that
talking.
man turn into a wereman?
Biden is the whiff man.
no. Biden is the sniff man. There's a difference.
Good one, cynic.
So if you're bitten by a whiff wolf, do you become a trans woman wolf? I don't know. This needs further research. By using this type of language, we are actually ignoring individuals. This is because we are only addressing the males in the room. In a way, this type of language actually reinforces much of the gender hierarchy we see in this world today. Our society empowers men and ignores women and non-gender conforming individuals.
Bullshit.
Bitches ain't shit.
What ain't shit?
Well, because bitches ain't shit. So
Oh.
that's why we do it.
And one cannot feel empowered when upon greeting they feel ignored. This discourages individuals from raising their voice, speaking up, since they already feel a sense of discomfort.
All of this is based upon a personal decision to feel that a word is not acknowledging you. Nobody said that the word wasn't acknowledging you. It was always regarded as acknowledging you. Then you decided to be like, well, I'm going to decide that this word doesn't acknowledge me. Why? Because I'm a pussy.
Hey, I just realized I need to do a disclaimer for my friends Becca and Dr. Kiev and any other women in the chat. Anything I say tonight is probably going to be weird coming out of my mouth. So
He's getting triggered by the rest of us on the articles.
Just bear with me.
All right,
I'm
I'm gonna skip to the conclusion.
Thank you, God.
This is awful. It's like reading through sandpaper.
And you just finished calling someone else a pussy. Come on. Take the article like a man.
A woman or a with man?
A where man.
A man or a with man?
There was a good 5 minutes where your accent had us all confused. All right. Some may think that this is really just a petty thing. That's what I thought at first as well.
It's petty as fuck.
But the more I thought about it, the more I learned. Being faced head on with your mistakes is the best way to develop as a person. The whole debate around the usage of the word guys is very similar to addressing individuals with proper pronoun. If you still think this debate is pointless, would you like to be addressed with the pronoun she, even if you are a man? No, of course not.
Well, here's the problem with that. Wait a minute. There's a big problem with that. No one's going to be addressing you as she because they're talking to you. So It doesn't matter. They're never going to address you as she.
What if you're the leader of China?
Good one.
He's got you there.
Hold on.
I'm surprised that a lot of people who use the pronoun of she aren't offended at the fact that the leader of China has their name is she, yet they're a man.
Dawg is giving you the response.
I know. What?
That's all. Did he miss it?
Probably.
Did you say something? I didn't hear it.
No, he turned on his camera momentarily.
The other window.
I regret nothing.
Okay. Thank you. Did they see that? Oh no, I wasn't talking. Never mind.
Your face was perfectly appeared on the TV on the screen too.
There you go. Perfect.
I know I would not like to be incorrectly labeled. Think about this. When was the last time a mixed gender group was labeled as ladies? Never. So why should we label the same group as guys? There is no reason. We need to elevate our language, think outside the box, and strive to be inclusive of all genders.
Well, that's patently untrue because, like, as a group of guy friends, like, someone will come in and say, "Hey, ladies," just like to troll. Like, it's like Sinatra apparently does the same thing because he's mentioned it too. But like,
the thing is
guys,
that
we call them ladies.
Well, no, the thing is, the problem with this argument is that they're saying ladies is the counterpoint to guys, when the natural counterpoint to ladies is gentlemen. And if you see a mixed group of people, you usually don't say gentlemen.
No, you say cunts, but we've already covered that.
Yeah. I don't think there is a female counterpoint to guys because you can refer to males as a guy, but it can also be used in both contexts.
You've obviously never seen any musicals. Okay.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Dolls.
Guys
Yes.
and dolls, guys and gals, guys and bitches. Okay, that's just mine.
Well, even as far back as like Happy Days, in Arnold's, they had the guys and they had the dolls on the bathroom doors. I don't think that any man is going to see the word dolls and be, "Oh, that's one I need to go into."
We need to bring back dames.
Who says gals anymore, though? That's
Dame.
the thing.
Yes.
Who says gals? Who says dolls? Who calls a woman doll face anymore?
I say gals sometimes, guys and gals.
I just say y'all.
Y'all works. You all has been telling you, who are you calling you?
All it means is in. Now I'm going to ask this author to stop saying feminism if it's supposed to be inclusive of all genders. How about that? How you like that?
But females are the ones that have been oppressed throughout history. That's why the push for equality needs to necessarily focus on the plight of the woman.
and ignore the man. That's right.
That is 100% correct.
We have to keep all this in mind. How would we feel if we would be incorrectly labeled? If we want our...
Indifferent.
I wouldn't care.
Well, you guys don't count. If we want our culture, language, and society
Did you
to
just call us guys? Oh my god, I'm leaving.
I'm out. Fuck this.
and society to progress, we need to focus on making small, incremental changes as well as fighting for larger changes. We need to strive for all to be treated equally and respectfully in all aspects of life, whether they be verbal or societal.
You need to find your dick and realize that, oh my god, I'm actually a man instead of a mixin.
Well, to be fair, Sam could be a woman's name.
You know,
how do you know he's from Mexico?
If I did give a shit about what this author calls me, I'll tell you one thing I wouldn't do. I wouldn't write a passive-aggressive, poorly edited article piece of shit like this.
I didn't think it was.
Oh wait, it was written by Sam. It was written by a man.
It's not
Well,
like
Sam could be a woman. We don't know.
Well, there's the other article right there. LGBTQ plus, whatever the fuck it is.
I'm going to assume that it's a woman because I do that for every Medium article.
Oh yeah, but he was worried about offending women. I feel like he wouldn't feel that way as much if
he was a woman.
Yeah.
Not so fast.
Well, it could be one of those white knights for women.
The same article has been written 1,000 times by both men and women. And
yeah, it could have been like a white woman who's, doesn't want to. What's that?
Does it matter though? Does it really matter if this person's a man or a woman when we can just assume that it's a woman?
Either way, they're a cunt.
My biggest problem is that they actually pay these fucking people to put these articles out.
No, they don't.
Seriously, they don't pay. Medium does not pay their people.
No. Medium is it's kind of a blogging type platform.
Yeah.
Well,
there are places that, but similar to YouTube, there's ways you can subscribe to people on Medium, but it's not. No one's paid by Medium itself.
No, but there's like a reason that the pregnant Goku article went up. It's because there are literally no standards. Like they're not. If they were paying their authors, they would not pay for the pregnant Goku article. So clearly, it's just you put it up there, and you're venting your spleen. You're not making a living off it.
I guess.
With the end of the first article comes the first game, and that game is Sad Libs.
My favorite. My favorite. If you could just do every game Sad Libs, I'd be very happy.
This is the one where I take 4 headlines from Medium, take out one word, and you guys have to fill in that word Mad Lib style. And then the chat votes on which one is the best.
Oh. Wait,
So-
how do I...
I'm kind of locked in. Given what I've been talking about this whole stream, my plural noun is basically picked for me.
It's gonna be cunts.
It was the same one I used last week, I think, as well.
All right, well, Jack, I need a living thing.
Jews.
Oh, damn.
The fact that they qualify means Hitler was just not up to the task.
After your shit last week, Frosted, I want to hear nothing from you.
I am very offended. All right, and Moon, I need an adjective.
Cum drenched.
Okay.
That doesn't a hyphenated word. Come on.
Well,
It works.
I'll allow it this time.
Adjective.
All right, so Terry,
Lame.
Terry, you're going with cunts, I assume.
Yeah. I kind of have to.
Hello.
Oh, he's thinking.
No.
All right, and P-Dog, I need a noun.
Well, since we're kind of a bodily fluid theme going,
Juice is bodily fluid themed.
how about phlegm?
Phlegm.
Phlegm?
Phlegm.
And who the fuck ever thought that the letter G needs to go in the word phlegm?
That was Moonshock's low-key way of helping Frosted Glass write the word phlegm.
I knew how to spell it for the record.
Oh, well done.
All right.
I would like to remark that Jews is at the very least fluid themed because, you know.
Orange juice, apple juice. Yeah, I get it.
Exactly.
No, but Johnny Hellcat points out that ash is actually an absence of bodily fluid. So
Did you say
Ah.
ass? Or ass or ash?
Ash,
Ash.
So
like ashy. I guess.
Pokemon's got like nothing going for it in terms of fluid.
All right. So Jax is what to do with a shaved Jew when you're not having sex.
What are they in the corner just watching you?
And Moon's is growing up big, black, and cum drenched in America.
I resemble that remark.
Let's see. Terry's is women don't need unions. We need cunts. I mean, technically it's true.
Yeah, truth as a defense.
And P-Dogs, don't let them smell your phlegm.
yeah.
It's disgusting.
Sorry, excuse me.
That gives me the heebie-jeebies.
All right, and now I'll start the poll on which one is best. And instructions on how to vote are up on the screen.
Growing up big, black, and cum drenched.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's between Moon and Terry.
Women don't need unions. We need guns.
I actually think if Jax didn't have the S on the end of Jews, so it actually
Yeah,
gets the-
if you didn't fuck me over by saying singular.
But Jax is pretty funny. Like, what to do with a shaved Jew when you're not having sex?
Just pick the first letter of the person. You don't have to put their full name.
I think you
And
have
of course, the son went with Terry's. You traitor! I think Terry's gonna win this one.
I
big,
like
black and
Terry's.
cum drenched.
See, it fit. Even though it was a hyphenated adjective, it still fit.
All right, and it looks like the winner is Terry with
Yay!
Moonshock a close second.
We need cunts. We don't need unions.
All right, and now it's time for our second article. One way I've embodied white supremacy culture is through my perfectionism.
Done is better than perfect. Whoever thought that is a fucking idiot.
No, I mean it does make sense. What they're saying is it's better to actually finish the job than to seek perfection and never actually finish anything. So they're saying at some point you need to compromise your ideals and just get the thing done and finished. So
or this person is criticizing the aspect of actually doing things correctly.
Well, they clearly never played Scrabble before because insta-e is not a word, nor is oithur.
You know, that bolt on the landing gear on the plane really isn't that important anyway. So I just it'd be perfect.
Yeah, it's mostly flyable.
Mostly, just not very landable.
I have a confession to make. I am a perfectionist.
There better be no spelling errors or grammar errors in this article at all.
Oh, wouldn't that be funny?
You'd trigger the fuck out of Jack if there was one now.
I often find myself being critical of everything I do. My creativity, writing, and anti-racist practice. I am very I am very critical of my writing right now. I've written 2 sentences and deleted 3. I'm not sure how that happened.
The fuck does creativity, writing, and anti-race have fuck all to do with anything in relation to each other? There's no mutual exclusivity with any of those 3 things.
They're saying that these are the 3 things that they focus on. That's like their 3 things.
Well, to me, that just says I do my idiocy, my dipshittery, and my hey, look, I like to drive on Sundays. You know, okay, never mind. Go on, continue.
My mind is constantly telling me that I can do better. That's the tiring position from which I begin everything. My perfectionism is often debilitating, mainly when I'm not mindful. I've realized that my subconscious mantra has been, "You are not good enough." This mantra is my automatic starting point from which I begin new projects, and I feel it most intensely with my writing and anti-racism work. It's a wonder I can...
Nothing. I hear that. That's one of those buzzwords that I usually go.
It's a wonder I can get anything done. I spend more time second-guessing my professional and personal work than I am happy to admit. But why do I need to be perfect? Why do I overthink? Where did I learn to be so self-critical to the point where I'm mentally flogging myself?
Say this person doesn't sound like they have much of a problem other than they need like a good dicking.
No, a hot dicking.
He's just passing them out. It turns out that perfectionism is one of the many characteristics of white supremacy culture.
Of course it is.
Sure, I can say that I learned it from my stepfather. However, he also grew up in American white supremacy. White supremacy culture is the hegemonic and pathological traits of our American society that are taken for granted and unquestioned.
Stop. All right, P-Dog, I got a question for you.
Yes.
As a black man, do you feel that America is inherently racist?
No, not at all.
So reading this kind of shit, you just got to shake your head like, oh my God, these people are fucking ignorant.
Yeah, they're annoying as hell. Are there racist things that happen in this country? Sure. Are there racist
Absolutely. I will agree with you on that.
But the best analogy was one I heard this morning. I think it was Monkey who was saying that if you have a bowl of Cheerios and someone puts 2 cherry tomatoes in your bowl of Cheerios, it's not a bowl of cherry tomatoes.
Yeah.
That's I thought that was a pretty good analogy.
I have a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least and 10 being the most, how much do you give a shit about what people like this think about black people?
Well, welcome to Ask a Brother Anything. And thank you for asking. I got to tell you. No, I don't know. There's people who care, but I don't. If I'm this person, I don't want their opinion on culture, but because at all. This is just some, excuse my language, but woke white liberal that I don't give a fuck about. And this is going to be the first person who, not knowing me, is going to be concerned about my oppression. And I am not oppressed. So, the person, this is the kind of person who says that voter IDs laws are racist because I probably don't have an ID, even though I've had an ID since I was 15 years old. They're just going to tell me what I am because they got some stupid ass stereotype from some shit because they watch too much damn TV and CNN.
For all the bitching that people like this do, I don't think I've ever seen a black person who actually gives a solitary fuck what a person like this thinks. Regardless of what side of the issue they're on.
But this is an ally.
Well, that's the thing, though. You're gonna find. Go ahead. But
you know what they do with the allies?
They shake their fucking head
under the fucking bus.
They either get in the back, or they say get in the front so you can get hit first with the brick from the batons.
And the worst part about it is that they will gladly just flock to the very beginning just so they can white knight everything.
In fact, wow. What's his writer's name?
Dipshit McDingus.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
Joey Pierre.
Okay.
Which is one of the gayest names I've heard.
It must be French.
Oui, oui. That's I don't know. Unless he chose his name, I can't, I can't.
Nobody who is straight will actually pick a pen name Joey Pierre.
Wait, Pierre Delecto. Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty gay. Dude. Mitt Romney. Remember he was doing some. What was he doing?
He had an alternative Twitter account or something like that.
Pierre Delecto, and he was,
And then I think he bragged about it for some reason.
Well, no, he said something about because he was liking his own tweets as Mitt Romney and shit like that. And then he bragged about it. Someone's like, "Oh no, are you kidding me?" And that was a funny day when that came out.
And perfectionism is one of those damaging traits that manages to creep its way into my everyday activities. Showing up for racial justice, Surge, summarizes perfectionism as the following points. Little appreciation expressed among people for the work that others are doing. Appreciation that is expressed usually directed to those who get most of the credit anyway. More common is to point out either how the person or work is inadequate, or even more common to talk to others about the inadequacies of a person or their work without ever talking directly to them. This is written like a retard. I don't know. I know they're doing that on purpose, but still.
Are we supposed to be impressed by oh my God, it's in italics. That means it must be important.
Let's see.
Is there a fast forward to this to this article?
I think the italics thing usually means they're quoting, because that seems to be the way I've seen it used on media.
Yeah, he is quoting somebody right there.
Yeah.
It's a block quote but he did it that way.
All right, so the point is they don't like perfectionism. All right. Did you notice the mistakes in the last bullet point? I did after I copied it from Surge's website and pasted it into my Word document. I took the liberty of correcting the mistakes without questioning what I was doing. For a hot minute, I was on autopilot. I needed to fix what I thought was wrong, and it was so visceral for me. I quickly realized what I did, though, and it occurred to me that perhaps that mistake was intentional. I honestly don't know how I managed to pilot myself and be mindful so swiftly, but I did. More importantly, why did I feel the need to correct it? The overall message was not lost on me. I understood it perfectly. Wink.
Wink.
Oh my God.
On a completely unrelated note, visceral just happens to be the word of the day on my word of the day calendar. So that is a cool coincidence.
Also, I would just like to reiterate the point that this person just clearly needs a dicking. I know that's a dude. I don't care. I think that dicking would still solve his problem.
But did this person just not negate his entire point of being a perfectionist with this last paragraph? It's like, I'm such a badass with my perfectionism. But now it's like, oh, well, maybe I should stop being a perfectionist. Just shut the fuck up and just go kill yourself already. Was that a little extreme? Sorry. Actually, sorry, but not sorry.
The solution is either to exterminate them or have them get fucked.
What do you mean, or?
Is there any kind of in between?
Depending on the order it's in, that could be more disturbing. Perfectionism is so ingrained in my body that I feel it living in my bones. It's traveled through my skin, through my muscles, and seeped its way into my bones and all the way to the marrow. It's so embedded in me that I can feel it oozing out of me again as I write this portion of my piece. That's not perfectionism, that's oozing out of you. My perfectionism has gone unchecked for several years now that it's hard to break the constant criticism. but I do have my successful moments. I managed to catch myself live as I wrote this piece, so there's a light at the end of the perfect tunnel.
You think this person fucking jacks off thinking about himself? It's like,
Yes.
oh, me. Oh, yeah, me. You know, just, god damn, this is fucking annoying. I hate this person. And I hated this person just seeing his fucking name. Nonetheless, look how perfect I am. It's like, you're a fucking idiot.
To me, there's a difference between, like, you don't have to be perfect. Okay, I can get on board with that. But saying that correcting mistakes is bad is just nonsense. Like, you spotted the mistakes, fix them. It's like, it's not perfectionism to fix mistakes. It's perfectionism to obsess over the mistakes to the point that you can't get anything done. There's a difference there.
I think that there's a point in the English language where you know enough and you know about the finer elements of it that you can start kind of playing by your own rules. But for the most part, grammar is pretty objective. It's pretty objective. You can tell something is definitively correct or incorrect. And to suggest that something incorrect doesn't need correction is only telling me that you do not think that the person is worthy. Well, not worthy of it. Is not intelligent enough that you're worried about offending this person by lowering your standards.
See, what I was saying to Becca in chat is, like, if you're doing something creative, like you're writing a book or you're making a movie, those can never be perfect. Like, there's always going to be something you can improve on. And so to obsess over perfection means you'll never get the thing done. If we're talking something objective, like maths, like spelling, anything where there is an objective, correct way to do it, then yes, you do need to get it right. And I think if they were only talking about perfectionism in creative terms, I could say, yeah, obsessing over perfection is just going to mean you never finish anything. But if there's an objective, correct way to do it, you have to do it that way.
Not only that, but to see the problem and deliberately not fix it. That's ludicrous to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you see a mistake, fix it, because there is a correct way to do it, and that is not the correct way.
I've tried reading several articles about how to combat perfectionism, but quite honestly, I've repeated a few simple phrases that are effective for me. I forgive you for not being perfect. I give you permission to be human. I don't have to have everything figured out. I can just do it and be. And gosh darn it, people like me.
And what rule are you breaking by correcting someone else's mistakes? Guess what? You're not saying that they're not allowed to be perfect. You can correct someone's mistake and simultaneously acknowledge that they are a flawed human being just like everyone else.
Unless they're black. Black people are perfect. The work have told me so.
No, but perfectionism is white supremacy, though.
That is the conundrum that they find themselves in.
Yeah.
I think this is just another case. I think it's just another case where a black person said something incorrectly, and then someone's going like, but the black people, they need more of our society to be kinder to them, so we're going to ignore all your spelling mistakes and never correct you on anything. That's all this is. Guaranteed.
Also, like, doesn't this article kind of imply that only white people are perfect?
Well, they got something right.
Yeah, I didn't say anything.
I don't have to be a caged hamster spinning in an endless wheel of false perfection. Nor do I have... What?
That'd be fun to see, though.
Yeah. Nor do I have to let the characteristics of white supremacy rule me. I don't need to be a robot. I can just be human, and that's enough.
Are you sure about that?
Aw.
This guy's jerking himself off big time.
I told you.
And letting the perfectionism ooze out.
This guy has just got his hand permanently around his dick, just jacking himself off. Just thoughts about how perfect he is. Fucking Joey.
Wow, that was a
Jack-off
4-minute read. Grayson, we're gonna get down to like the real idiots on Medium. They write like 3 sentences, and we spend a half hour on it.
Yeah, go from a 5-second read that spans 20 fucking minutes long.
Well, only because we added commentary. Like, if you just sat there and read it, it's like-
Right.
I mean, this article can basically be boiled down to a few sentences anyway. Number 1, black people are stupid. Number 2, we need to we need to let black people be stupid because they're actually smart in being stupid somehow. And number 3, we're bad if we try and do things correctly.
Yeah.
Well, we know black
Why?
people, we know black
Why?
people. We know black people are stupid because the Ebonics thing, like, we can't expect black people to speak proper English. So let's just let them get away with, making up sort of, almost correct. They're black. That's as good as they can get. We can't expect them to get it perfect.
Did anybody clip that?
Feel free. Feel free. I've said much worse.
Yeah. There's much worse that could be clipped.
Oh wait,
yeah.
No, this is where what is werewolf? Wait, what the hell you say?
Beowulf.
Oh, werewolf, women.
Werewolf.
Werewolf. Yeah. Okay.
Waywolf. Oh, wolf.
I can't
Woof
believe
Next.
that.
Next.
I can't believe I got you to talk about that again.
Damn it.
All right.
Fucking
Next thing you know,
baited me, you
Whipple Ball is
bastard.
going to be a kind of fucking werewolf.
Let's talk about Mr. Perfect here. Okay.
He was a wrestler.
First of all, yeah, yes, Kurt Hennig.
Hennig.
He's from what's he from Robbinsdale Armstrong High School here in the Twin Cities. Anyway, I'm getting a little tired of this. Being perfect is white supremacy. Aren't you kind of being white supremacist by thinking that perfection is white supremacy? Like, can't anyone but white people be perfect?
No.
Yeah,
There's
that's
zero flaw in that in the logic that white supremacy is not perfectionism, but it is a problem exclusive to white people.
Yep.
like they might as well just say like one way I've embodied white supremacy is through being good looking. Where you're just implying that, so that means black people are ugly. Well,
Right.
if white supremacy is perfectionism, then you're just saying only white people are perfect.
But what about that thing from the Smithsonian where like white supremacy is working hard and being on time?
Oh my god. Yeah. That was ridiculous.
Same.
So
Sorry,
what
you
you're
go.
saying is I need to be late all the time so that I'm not racist?
Yes.
Only
Got
if you're late all the time, then you're perfect. So you are racist.
Yeah.
It's just
here.
it's just whenever I hear stuff like that, my mind goes to what would I feel like if someone was saying this about me? What if I was on the other side of this coin? I would be terribly insulted by people like this.
Yes.
I would think that they were just absolute fucking assholes.
Ding.
And more than that.
But one of the things that I generally bring up a fair bit is there was this change your mind that Stephen Crowder did about affirmative action. And there was this black woman who was like, as far as I could tell, she was really, really smart. And she was convinced he only got in because she was black. And like Crowder's like, no, you seem quite intelligent. I'm sure you got in on your own merits. He's like, maybe. And like that is what this stuff does, is it makes them think that they're being gifted things because they can't earn them on their own merits. And even if they do earn it on their own merits, there's always that question mark. Did I really earn this? Or was it gifted to me as a as a condescending favor, like, oh look, close enough here, we'll let you have it. And I think it's actually far more destructive than just treating them like normal people.
Yeah, it's affirmative action is a racist practice. It's not even what do you call it? Benevolent racism. It's just flat out insulting. It's saying you're not good enough. Here's a little bone. Here's
exactly.
a bone.
But anyway, with the end of that article comes our second game, which I like to call Poe or No.
Oh.
This game is brutally hard. I used to be good at it, but then Frosted upped his game, and now I get it wrong every time.
And this is the one where I give 3 headlines, 2 of them from Medium and 1 I made up, and you have to guess which one I made up. All right. Headline A. If Makia was your daughter, would America still not be racist, Tim Scott? Headline B. White people aren't stupid, they're ignorant. And headline C. Why all advice to women is some form of gaslighting.
See,
B.
I'm gonna say B is the fake one because it's too nice to white people.
Yeah, it's too direct and too.
No, it's too nice. It's letting them get away with being ignorant instead of stupid.
Good point.
And I'm going to start the poll for the chat, so you can vote
I'm
on
going
which
to
one you
say-
think is fake.
I'm going to say it's A because A sounds the most real.
Fair enough.
All right, so Jax is A. What did the rest of you guys say?
Say B.
I
went
said
with
B.
B. I think you're trying to mess with our minds. And
Watch it be C, and everybody goes, nah.
C is the one I most medium suspect.
Which one did you say, P-Dog?
I said C.
All right.
Okay.
And I'll just wait until the poll is finished. Looks like C is in the lead so far. Well, B and C are duking it out.
Uh-oh, B's winning now.
10 seconds left.
I'm sticking to A. Come on, A.
All right. And
Were these
Looks-
supposed to be all medium headlines or just headlines, period? Are these
So
supposed
the ones that are correct are on Medium, and one of them is fake.
Oh, okay. I got you.
all right. Well, the chat went with B, and the answer is A is fake.
Damn.
Oh.
What?
Rigged.
Rigged.
I would have expected that headline.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I went with it. It sounded the most real, so I was like, there's been a couple times in the past where Frosted just it sounds the most realistic because it's so specific.
Rigged.
I like this game.
I do too.
Yeah. The best part I like about it is Jonathan Frakes saying, "We got you."
It's like it's like trying to figure out someone's psychology to win at tic-tac-toe.
See, I would have said scissors, paper, rock because tic-tac-toe is solved. Like whoever goes first
sorry.
win.
No, not tic-tac. I meant rock, paper, scissors. My bad.
All right. And now our third article. Can we stop defaulting to mother when talking about people seeking abortions?
What?
Oh my god.
What?
That is
Oh
impressive.
God, that was an ugly motherfucker in that picture. I can see why you wouldn't want to call him mother.
We could say soon to be ex-mother.
Or soon to
just
be
murderer.
ever mother.
Or just baby killer.
That works.
All this is
Or
This is
vacuum
just-
culture.
Now,
This
it would
is
be
ju-
great. It would be great if the conclusion is that we should call them guys.
That would be perfect.
Let's call them womb scoopers.
this
Oh,
is just
I like
another
that. Womb skippers is awesome.
This isn't any principled stance. All this is to change the language from something that is specific and universally acknowledged to something that distances yourself from the inherently loaded language of the topic. We call these people mothers because that's what they are. But also,
no. See, this is going to be something about transgender people, and they want to be able to call them something else. It's kind of like when you can't say, like, only women can be pregnant.
Yeah, this is going to be a men can get pregnant too article.
Yeah,
it's not going to say only men can have abortions too.
So I'm going that they're the abortion route, and you're going the transgender route. Okay, let's see what happens.
Womb Scooper sounds like a high school sports team, like the Valley High Womb Scoopers. Abortion has been in the global news a lot recently. We've seen positive outcomes from feminist campaigns in places like Argentina and Thailand, where the legal right to abortion has been expanded. Since abortion is such a common occurrence around the world and such a heated topic, it's no surprise we see it crop up regularly in media reports. As someone who works in the field, I keep an eye on this news, and am always interested to see the way reproductive rights issues are reported on around the world. One thing I've noticed, regardless of which continent the news comes from, is that certain phrases keep cropping up. One which particularly bugs me is, abortion is legal to save the mother's life. At first, this might seem like a fairly innocuous phrase. This is a common way.
Well, it's not. It's not innocuous because it's talking about abortion.
This is a common way to talk about the legal restrictions the majority of countries still place on abortion. Nearly everywhere around the world, our access to safe abortion care is limited to certain legal conditions. Even in very restrictive contexts, there is usually a clause which allows for abortion to be provided where someone's life, or sometimes health, is in danger. But look more closely. The word mother here is problematic.
Dun dun dun. There you go.
Nice.
This is not a neutral term when talking about people seeking abortions. In fact, mother implies that just by virtue of being pregnant, someone is already a mother, or a mother-to-be. What does this say about women and other pregnant people who do not have children, and those who may never want to have children? There's a sense that because we can get pregnant, having children and being a parent is somehow already our destiny.
That doesn't even make sense.
No, but what do you expect?
As well as falling into outdated assumptions about women's sole purpose in life being to reproduce. This is also just factually inaccurate.
Why did anyone say that?
It's implied, Jack.
Well, no.
It's implied from the use of the word mother.
No, women's sole purpose is not just to reproduce. They can have sex that doesn't lead to reproduction as well. They have that option as well.
And that's kind of really,
or they could.
The baby thing is just incidental.
Yeah.
Or they could just abstain, maybe, or use protection.
No, that's not an option. It doesn't make sense for journalists to write about mothers getting abortions when that's not what they mean. In fact, just over half of those who have abortions are parents. On top of this, mother is gendered language which will not apply to some people, for example, trans men, who need access to abortion care.
So we were both right then.
Yeah.
In just the last couple of weeks, I've seen this phrasing in articles from South Africa, the USA, bonus point here for the phrase biological fathers too, and Italy. I don't believe the intent...
This person is just humble bragging now.
Yes.
I read news from all over the world. Look at how cultured I am. I read news from Italy. When's the last time you read the news from Italy?
I don't believe the intention is to stigmatize anyone's reproductive choices. I think this is simply journalists unthinkingly repeating a phrase that which is commonly used, especially in legal texts. When I have contacted journalists to point out that the word mother in this context is not neutral, but rather loaded with meaning, they are usually quick to amend the oversight. However, when we look at the bigger picture, it's clear that this kind of biased language is not wholly accidental. Anti-abortion organizations have put a lot of time and money into trying to shape public consciousnesses about abortion. A lot of this work starts in the US, but is exported across the world in an effort to increase anti-abortion sentiment and block access to safe abortion services and information. See how I chose not to use pro-life to describe these groups? As pointed out in the book Unspeak, pro-life appeals to a sacred concept of life, and casts one's opponents, those who think abortion should be legally available, necessarily as anti-life, in fact pro-death.
Well, they are, because abortion is killing a baby. So if you're in favor of that, you are pro-death.
I wonder how she would feel about the term Antifa. Let's see. When we repeat language coined by the anti-abortion movement, like pro-life and unborn baby, we are inadvertently reinforcing concepts which undermine reproductive choice and bodily integrity. I hope to see more journalists and those of us working in the field of reproductive rights and health thinking carefully about the language used to represent abortion. The news should seek to be as factual, clear, and unbiased as possible. When we know how common the experience of abortion is, we should strive to always use language which is respectful and inclusive of people who have abortions. In the hopes of improving the way abortion is represented and spoken about, I will continue to share helpful resources like IPPF's Abortion Messaging Guide and Media Guide for Journalists. I invite you to do the same.
I decline the invitation.
You don't want to read the Abortion Messaging Guide?
I kind of do, but all the same, on principle, I'm not going to.
Why is it that these people always think that they're entitled to us reading their dumb bullshit?
Well, we voluntarily read it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, I hope we all learned something today.
I'll tell you what.
Wow, that's actually one of the quicker articles you've ever read.
Well, we didn't really have much to jump in on there, so
Yeah.
It's a 3-minute read though.
Well, you read it between abortions. All right, but now it's time for our final game, which is Wheel of Oppression.
Terry's favorite.
Great.
bring back the caption game, damn it.
I missed the caption game.
Yeah.
And P-Dog, for this one, you have to pick one of the things in the list to the left,
Okay.
and then I'll spin the wheel, and you have to explain why that thing is the appropriate oppressiveness.
Okay.
I want 6-sided dice.
Well-
I've been playing board games.
I'll take surge protectors.
Bicycle helmets.
Do I get a chance to choose now?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, you can choose anytime.
Let's see what's left. Let's go with slinkies.
Okay. And we'll go in the typical order. So, Jack, what was your thing?
Bicycle helmets.
All right. Well, you have to explain why bicycle helmets are transphobic.
Well, bicycle helmets are transphobic because they're not built for the proper space. They're not built with the proper space to hold some dude's weave.
That's it, huh? Wow.
That's it.
That was amazing.
All right. Very succinct. Yeah. All right. Well, Moon, what was your thing?
I did surge protectors.
All right. Well, you have to explain why surge protectors are Islamophobic.
Surge protectors are Islamophobic clearly because they're a conduit of energy. See, and as we all know, Islams or Muslims, they just have no energy. They're like a very low energy society, and when you have a low energy society, you can't have something as good as a surge protector because you're going to have all that pent up energy just bashes together in one gigantic surge of power, and a surge protector needs to keep that down. So surge protectors are obviously putting down the Muslim and making sure that they never get out there at all and do anything in this world because they have no power. And when they do have power, they're in big surges, and surge protectors protect against that. So clearly, surge protectors are Islamophobic.
All right. And Terry,
And shut the hell up, Jack.
All right. And Terry, you had dice.
Yes.
All right. Well, you have to explain why dice are misogynist.
Oh, that's easy because the singular of dice is die. And obviously, all the patriarchy overlords want women to die. And so, just by being called a die, it is extremely misogynist and, oppressing women. So, we need to call them lives from now on. I think that is a necessary change. And the sooner we make it, the better.
Six-sided lives.
Are you
I
saying
think
you're
that at the very least we should replace the last letter of die with the more appropriate X.
Six-sided dicks.
all right? And P Dog, what was your thing?
I don't remember.
Slinkies.
Slinkies.
All right.
Oh, a Slinx. Slinkx.
Slinkies.
Slinkses. All right. Well, you have to explain why slinkies are Islamophobic.
Ooh.
So slinkies were invented in the 16th century. And in the 16th century, they were used as a weapon during the Great Wars against Attila the Hun and some other Islamic dude that was killing a lot of people. And so they sharpened the tines of the middle of the slinky, and they would throw them, and they would cut people's heads off. And they were also used during the Spanish Inquisition and also the Crusades. And so it was a great weapon. It was very effective, but and they killed a lot of people with them. Just kind of sucked. You got hit with one of those things.
Slinkies are dangerous.
They're sharp. The middle part, they throw them and they open it up and it wrap and then cut their head off and shit. It was
now
terrible.
I'm forced to ask.
It was very gruesome.
I'm forced to ask P Dog. Did you actually know this about the history of slinkies, or did you look that up in the interim while we were all presenting?
I'm pretty sure none of it is true.
I made that shit up. Okay.
Gotcha.
Well,
a writer made it all up. Okay.
It's pretty good, wasn't it?
It was pretty convincing because I'm
plausible.
I'm pretty sure that there are children's toys that were in the past used as weapons in medieval times. I'm
sure there were.
Like a slingshot.
Yeah, no, there's one more specific I'm thinking of.
Well, fortunately, it being true is not a requirement, so it still counts. All right, so now I'll let the chat decide who made the best argument.
Oh, you have to vote?
You can't vote for yourself either.
What?
The audience has to vote. We just present.
Oh. Okay.
See, the problem is I look up children's toy medieval weapon, and then not only did they only show pictures of plastic toy weapons, but now it says that I'm on an FBI watch list. So
oh, you were on one before now.
There's slinkies in that picture, right?
But what's wrong with being on the watch list of the female body inspectors? I would have thought that's kind of cool.
Oh, You're gonna win with your slinkies and your Islamophobic slinkies.
Hey, I'm saying those Crusaders were terrible, man. They were like, micro metal engineers.
Those are some dangerous slinkies, man.
Just
All right.
to spittle buggies, vote P won't work. If you wanted to vote for P Dog, it's vote G for guest.
Yes, he's the guest.
Yeah. And the winner is P Dog,
Damn.
followed by Moonshock and Terry.
Cool.
Well, this game is clearly not racist, so there you go.
I would
Poor Jack.
I would just like to remind people of the racist history of the skip it. You'd skip over it, and then it would be used like as a big wrecking ball, and it would go into an Islamic person.
I came here like a wrecking ball.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Oh, boo!
But were you completely naked on said wrecking ball?
Yes.
Exactly.
All right. And now it's time for our final article.
Yay. I mean, yay.
Should sanctions be imposed on America for killing black people?
Okay, first of all, I have a very big argument. Should sanctions be put onto other countries for killing their people through slavery and all these other things? So, fuck off, article. You and your Rebecca Stevens.
Look, I'm just going to say, if America Ferrara has been killing black people, then yes, she absolutely should be sanctioned.
Okay, guess what, Rebecca? Do you know how statistics work at all? Do you realize that if you have a country with a sizable proportion of black people, some of them will inevitably get killed? I'm sorry, but that's not an issue of systemic racism. That's an issue of impossibly large numbers. That's an issue of massive numbers pitted against tiny likelihoods.
Jack, I've got one thing to say to you. The heartbeat of racism is denial, and I can hear the heartbeat clearly.
Oh, yeah. and Dr. Kiev did make a good point. This article is clearly racist because in the subheading, there is no capital B in black.
Oh, geez.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so this black woman is clearly racist.
I think we should cancel her. Get on the Twitter, folks.
Yep. Rebecca Stevens A. She needs to go.
America levies sanctions against China and Myanmar for killing minorities, but it does exactly the same thing by killing its black people.
Exactly. And
yep.
There's no difference whatsoever. Exactly.
I'm sorry, P-Dog, but you're going to have to die now because America's racist. So sorry.
No. He can finish out the stream. We'll murder him after it's done.
Okay. Just making sure.
No, he just goes to the special labor camp.
Gotta vote for the Labour Party. That's worse than death.
Not a day went by last week without a body cam video of yet another black or brown person getting killed by police in America. From Dante Wright, who was, according to police, accidentally murdered, to Adam Toledo, who was shot with his arms raised high above his head. The news from across the big pond was pretty morose. Whatever these children were being charged with, they did not deserve to have their lives cut short.
Children? And how old were these children, by the way? Exactly.
42.
Okay. Children.
From my perspective, the frequent and systematic nature of these summary executions of black people in America is tantamount to outright genocide.
Yeah, it's weird.
What?
I'm sorry, I mean to interrupt, but she didn't mention that 16-year-old kid that was killed by the sheriff. You know about that one? Oh, I'm sorry. He was a white kid. Never mind. The kid with he had a toy gun, and they didn't mention.
So I've got to ask, what's it like being in the middle of a genocide? I've never met someone who's in the process of being genocided before.
I'm just saying, I get a little nervous.
I mean, if you want to hide in my attic for a while, you're welcome.
I tend to, I'm.
Don't hide in Frosted's attic.
You know, my middle name is Francis, so you could say something Frank. I don't know.
No, your middle name is Dawg, isn't it? It's P Dawg.
Oh
No.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, few people know that Dawg was also Anne Frank's middle name.
Right. And Dawg Frank.
That's right. Let's see.
That's a little known fact. I'm surprised you knew that one.
Her friends called her Little Homicide.
What do you think my parents got that from?
Yeah, and I also have a big problem with this killing of Adam Toledo. The guy had a gun in his fucking hands, and the cop had like a split second to make a decision. When this guy was turning around, he dropped the gun as he was turning around. The cop couldn't have seen it in that split second, and bam, 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 bam. He defended himself accordingly. So I have no problem whatsoever with this guy getting fucking murdered. So
just a minor correction. It's Bam Bam Bigelow.
my bad. So, good wrestler. Interesting theme music. Yeah.
Wikipedia defines genocide as being the intentional action to destroy a people, usually defined as an ethnic, national, racial, or religious group, in whole or in part. That is exactly what is going on in America. You might say...
Exactly.
Yeah. Look, they even quoted Wikipedia.
I'm just emphasizing exactly.
Yeah, they even quoted Wikipedia. They know what they're talking about.
Oh, goodness.
You might say that genocide is too harsh a word, but when, as a black person, you wake up to footage of people that look like you being killed, not just once or twice, but on an almost daily basis, you really begin to ask yourself if this is all happening by chance, or if there's a clear intention by white supremacists to annihilate us all.
White supremacists are doing a very bad job of this genocide, I've got to say. There's still a hell of a lot of black people alive in America, so that they're dropping the ball here. If that's their stated goal, they need to really do better.
If the article was talking about Planned Parenthood, I think they might have a point.
Oh, goodness gracious.
The world...
I wasn't ready for that one. You're right.
The world has a grim number of ongoing genocides at the moment. There are the Rohingyas that live in Rakhine State in northwestern Myanmar. As the Muslim minority, they are constantly discriminated against and killed by the Buddhist majority. In South Sudan, both the Dinka and Nuer ethnic groups are engaged in ethnic cleansing activities against each other. In brutal genocidal campaigns in Syria and Iraq, the terrorist group ISIS has sought to exterminate Yazidis, Shiites, and Christians. In the Central African Republic, it is widely suspected that genocide may be taking place between the Christian militias called the Anti-Balaka and the Muslim Coalition.
See, one thing that jumps out to me is, why is it called ethnic cleansing? And I'm sure P-Dog can testify to this. The black doesn't scrub off. Like, you
okay,
that's not dirt.
But here's the other part of it. They call it ethnic cleansing, but it's really a pretty messy deal, you know. It's not,
yeah.
I wouldn't know, but I wouldn't call it very clean. Okay, let me ask you all a question. I'm gonna see. This is a test. This is a test for the chat too. In fact, let me see. Let's see if you recognize anything here. Let's see. Richard Salitro. Anyone know that name?
No.
Okay. How about Benjamin Ridley?
No.
Nope.
No. Bradley Michael Olson.
No.
No.
Okay. Oh, wait. Let me go back here. Hang on a second. Let me change something here real quick. Okay, here we go. How about Michael LaDuca?
No.
Okay. March 10th. Timothy Daniel Statham.
Sounds familiar.
February 18th. No. Richard Thomas.
No.
Sounds.
I hear that guy was a dick though, so that's
Bradley Alexander Lewis.
nope.
No.
No.
Ashley Babbitt.
Oh,
I think
that
I've
one
heard
I
that
know.
name.
You've
Yeah.
heard that?
she's the one that was killed in
Yeah.
the Capitol.
Yeah, that was okay. Okay, so now the only reason you probably know Ashley Babbitt is because of the extraordinary circumstances and because, Trump. The other four are unarmed white men that were killed in the last 3 months.
Hmm.
You haven't heard any? Have you heard of any of them?
I had a feeling that's where you were going, but
Yeah.
Not
Well, they
one.
don't.
No, I hadn't.
They don't count.
They
Yeah.
don't count. They don't. And then, honestly, if I don't want to. If I wanted to go down a list of black people killed, in the last 30 days, not by police.
Yeah.
That's a closer, and it's even though that look, as a percentage of the number of black people in the United States of America, it's a blip on the screen, and yet that is going to be exponentially more that have been killed by police, that are just killed in their own neighborhoods by other people with same melanin enhancements that they have. So this kind of article comes from the fact that we only see black people killed by police on TV. And I talk about this all the time. It's a man bites dog event, and because it's such one of those topics that the media loves right now, because obviously we've had this great swell of protest over it. It's of course it's the only thing you're going to see on TV, because it's the only thing it's because that's the only thing you see on CNN and MSNBC and on Twitter. You're not, you know what? Let me talk about Michael LaDuca here real quick. State police investigating fatal officer-involved shooting in Red River Parish. Let's see, Louisiana. Let's see, where's this guy? These deputies on patrol in DeSoto Parish attempted to stop a Jeep Grand Cherokee driven by Michael LaDuca of Waterford, Connecticut. For reasons still under investigation, LaDuca refused to stop, and a pursuit ensued. The pursuit continued on roadways in DeSoto Parish before entering Red River Parish. As the pursuit continued in Red River Parish, LaDuca turned onto an oil-filled road, drove through a barbed wire fence, entered a pasture where the vehicle became stuck in a ditch. LaDuca fled from the vehicle and led deputies on a foot pursuit. During the foot pursuit, a confrontation occurred, which led deputies from whatever this department is, discharging their firearms. LaDuca was pronounced dead at the scene, and he had no weapons. Now, that seems like one of those ones that we'd hear about, right? Okay, so the guy goes on a chase, he runs from the car, has no weapons, and he's shot by police. And yet, and this happened on March 11th, about less than a month ago, or no, just over a month ago. Anyone ever hear of this one?
Nope.
Unarmed man shot by police. You'd think you'd hear about it, but no, we're not going to hear about it, because right now the news media it's an agenda of you see. Now it's weird because they're doing this while Biden's president right now. That's what's really crazy about it. But they tried to treat last year's turmoil with the different people being shot. They tried to treat it as though this is part of Trump's America, and they're still using this. But so every time I see one of these now, I want to say this is Biden's America.
So what I got from that is, if you want to make it onto the media, get a really good suntan before you commit your crime, and then they'll cover your story.
Oh yeah, no, not your crime. No, they don't cover those stories. Only you got to get shot by the police. You got to do suicide by cop. Get a tan, do suicide by cop, and then you might get a golden casket. I'm just saying.
I will say
it helps if you're in the middle of stabbing someone too.
Yes.
Or that.
I will say one of the things that bothers me is when they say unarmed killings, because it implies that anyone who is armed somehow deserved it more or something like that.
Well, if they're armed, they're a greater threat. So there's more justification for the police to use lethal force.
Yeah, but that's That's always kind of,
Well, you realize
rubbed me the wrong way.
if the guy in the Jeep in that other story, if he would have turned around the Jeep and drove it at police and they shot him, let's say he tried to run them over and they shot him, he'd still be unarmed.
Yeah. Yeah. The connotation of specifying unarmed is to highlight that they were what they're trying to frame is that they're less of a threat, and that is why the killing was unjustified. Sorry.
I digress. They do count vehicles as a weapon.
Yes.
In this database. Sometimes,
but it also goes to show that this narrative that they pull is effective as hell, because you probably remember there was that study done last year where they asked Democrats and Republicans how many unarmed black people were killed by police the previous year, and there were people who were saying like thousands and hundreds or something like that, and it turns out the real number was like 11.
Yeah, I think it was 9. Yeah,
or 9, something like that. Really small. And Chicago takes more innocent black people like that in a weekend.
Yeah.
So I mean, where the hell are the priorities?
It's funny as I'm going through this database too. So when I put in, do the race. Does it say the race in here? Oh no, in this they do say. I'm gonna have to check all these articles, but I want to go through some of these articles and see how long it takes to describe them as an unarmed person. Because in that Michael LaDuca story, not once in that article did it say unarmed white man. But whenever I read a story, whenever it's a unarmed black man, it's usually in the first paragraph is a descriptor.
But that's what I was saying. Like, the reason that they focus on it is the rhetoric connotation is that, that makes it unjustified.
Right.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say mainstream media is the enemy of the people. Sorry, I interrupted, Peter.
Unfortunately, genocides are a lot more commonplace than one thinks. And
especially if you redefine genocide to include this sort of thing.
I genocide this article. Anyway.
And they are a sick yet effective means to stamp out populations that the dominant group doesn't want around. There are many examples through history. For example, when white colonizers gave indigenous people blankets infected with smallpox.
Hi, Johnny. Hi, Camel.
Thanks for the blankets.
No hard feelings. This led to the massive genocide of indigenous populations. But why do I say that America is waging genocide against its black population? Because so many black people are systematically killed by police, white vigilantes, and terrorists. And it's non-stop. Summary executions without any form of trial are the mainstay of police and failed states. This shouldn't be happening in America. Think about it. Even while the Derek Chauvin trial was going on, and while the verdict was being pronounced, cops were still killing black people. Can you imagine? The trial of a notorious... No, during the trial, it's a day off when they're not supposed to kill black people.
Put the knife down and you won't get shot. Anyway.
The trial of a notorious white man who had cold-bloodedly killed an innocent black man didn't even disrupt No, this says right there, innocent. Didn't even disrupt the genocide for an instant. It simply continued. Indoctrinated cops, white nationalists, and the January 6th usurpers are part and parcel of the ones doing the killing, and they continue to wage the battle on black bodies and minds.
Wait a minute.
Black
bodies.
She mentioned the January 6th usurpers? You mean the usurpers in which an unarmed white woman was shot dead? Genocide.
That didn't happen.
Genocide.
And also they didn't kill anybody.
Why do we keep pretending that the January 6th riot is nearly as big as it is?
Excuse me. Insurrection.
Oh yeah, that's right. Jesus.
It was the
It's
worst
so-
day. It was the worst day for democracy since the Civil War. Remember?
Yeah, the fucking
Oh my god.
these
what a
people
moron.
said it was. They said with no sense of irony, with no sense of perspective, that January 6th was literally worse than 9/11.
Mhm.
Just let that sink in. Thousands of people died on 9/11. Well, wait, did thousands of people? I don't
A
actually
few
know the
thousand. I
real
think it was about
number.
3,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's around 3,000. And it was done by people who just objectively hated America. And then all of a sudden, this one thing happens, and it's like one person dies, and some people will argue that two people died, even though that's been debunked by now. And
Right.
all of a sudden, worse than 9/11? What planet are you on? Honestly.
All right. I'm
Compare-
going to. I think I know what Biden what meant to say. I think what he meant to say is that it was the worst day for democracy since Captain America Civil War, which was in 2016.
That makes sense.
Oh, damn. You know
Yeah.
what? I think you might have something there.
Yeah, yeah.
It would make sense if a Democrat was in favor of 9/11 because it meant 3,000 more Democrat voters.
Well, I mean, Hassan Piker actually came out and said that America deserved 9/11, as Check Your Logic pointed out in chat.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. This kind of stuff makes me absolutely sick to my stomach.
I'm surprised you didn't hear about it. It was a pretty big deal at the time. He said America deserved 9/11, and then when he got all the pushback, he said, no, America, not Americans. That's what America deserved it. I'm not saying
Yeah.
American people deserved it. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. That doesn't get you out of trouble.
Pedantic little prick.
Yeah.
For them, black lives do not matter. This then begs the question, should the international community simply look on while black lives continue to be sacrificed? Should President Macron of France, Angela Merkel of Germany, Yoshihide Suga of Japan, Narendra Modi of India, Justin Trudeau of Canada, and Boris Johnson of the UK turn a blind eye while this genocide continues, unabated and uncontrolled?
Point of personal privilege, blind eye is extremely ableist language, and I want them to amend it.
How many deaths is a genocide? 11? Is 11 is 9 deaths a genocide?
Sure, why not?
Close enough.
And is Third Eye Blind a really good band?
Well, it's a very ableist band name, so they can't be.
Sorry.
Also, I love this threat. Like they're gonna stick Justin Trudeau on us. It's like
I'll tell you right now.
No, please, Canada, sanction us, please.
We prefer to use the term people kind.
The problem with Canada trying to sanction us, it's like, no, excuse me, Canadians, don't take this personally. The problem with Canada sanctioning us is they need us more than we need them.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the case for most countries. Most countries need the US more than the US needs them.
Well, that's the case for most countries with Canada. Most countries that Canada deals with are needed far less than they need other countries.
Let's see.
All right, guys, let's focus on genocide now.
Yes, 9-person genocide.
No,
Hitler, 6 million
not,
Jews.
It's Gen T Maxi, not Gen O-side. Different person.
Although 9-Man Genocide would be a good band name.
It would.
Hitler, 6 million Jews. Stalin, 10 million Russians. Mao, 90 million communists. We don't count those as people, though. and then America, 9. I mean, any death of that nature. I'm sorry.
You could argue there's more, but it's, the stupidity of trying to compare this to a genocide would mean that you are assuming that every single one every single person killed by a police officer that is of color, melanin enhanced, melanin gifted, was killed because they were melanin gifted.
See, I think instead of melanin gifted, you can just say empathetic, because as Nick Cannon pointed out, melanin is the source of empathy. So
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so the police killed them because they're empathetic.
yes,
That is a nice ring to it. So yeah, and I want to ask this woman, okay, did George Floyd die because he was black? Tell me at what point do you believe that they said, I'm going to kill this man because he's black? Because the guy offered, said, hey, George, if you feel uncomfortable in the car, we can roll down the windows, we can turn on the air conditioner for you. Now, does that sound like someone who wants to kill somebody because they are black?
Absolutely.
that is all to build plausible deniability so that they can do the racist killing while saying, well, we were really nice to him beforehand.
Never mind. I think I answered my own question.
Air conditioning is abbreviated AC, which also stands for always Caucasian.
No. Derek Chauvin, when he offered to let him sit in the car and turn on the air conditioning so he'd feel more comfortable, it was a freeze ray. It wasn't conditioning. He was going to freeze him to death.
Black people are allergic to air conditioning.
Brothers don't like the winter, and the air conditioning is too much like the winter. I'm just saying. That's a scientific fact. I'm telling you right now.
That's why none of them can swim. The water's too cold.
I can swim like a motherfucker. I got all the way up to my lifeguard certification. But I guess,
I think that's a scientific impossibility, though.
That's fine.
Let's see. Which nation has the nerve to stand up to America and say, we will issue sanctions against you because you are killing black people?
None, because that will be none, because there's no such thing as. Never mind. Just fuck it. Never mind.
Okay. Let's go back to your previous examples: Myanmar and South America, and the other. I forget what the third one was. How many people you think those people killed? Unarmed people this year. How many people you think those guys killed?
Oh,
I'm willing to guess it's probably
at least 6.
8.
Yeah. 8 people. Yeah, exactly. Just Jesus Christ.
I'm just picturing like Alec Baldwin giving us the speech from Glenn Ross of like how we have to get our genocide numbers up.
Yeah. Coffee is for closers. If there's still black people alive, you're not doing your job.
Yeah, still say worst genocide ever.
Yeah.
Second prize, set of steak knives.
I bet you no one will, but someone should. Think back to South Africa. Powerful countries imposed sanctions on the country to stop apartheid and the systematic killing of black peoples. Under the racist regime, hundreds of thousands of black South Africans lost their lives.
Stop.
What about the current racist regime?
Stop. Hundreds of thousands. Versus?
You guys call them sprinkles.
9. I just got that. God damn it,
They wiped out all the sprinkles. That's just uncalled for.
I have no idea what to say there.
Jimmies. Hundreds of thousands of Jimmies.
That just shines a new light on the term whipped cream. Let's see. In 1994, under the weight of sanctions, the government dismantled apartheid and held free and fair elections. I know that both countries aren't similar, but still...
Which entirely negates the point.
Yeah, because I'm sure America is just as dependent on other countries as South Africa was. But still, sanctions could be an effective way of adding pressure to make sure America enacts policies to curb the genocide of black people.
What?
And maybe America wouldn't even care if the whole world levied sanctions against it. But wouldn't it be good to tell the most powerful nation on earth that until they stop killing black people, we will not trade with them?
These people are acting like we're just like every fucking black person on the oh, they need to die. We're just blowing them away systemically.
They just want
40 million. 40 million.
I'm sorry, P-Dog, but we're gonna have to kill you.
There's 40. There's
no offense, bud, but you're gonna have to die at the end of this.
40 million black people in America.
How many black people in America?
And so far we've got, what, 10?
40 million. Now, let's put it this way. Okay, now let's see. I think it's about 400 or 500 black people are killed by police every year. It's like roughly 30% of the people killed by police are black.
Well, then they're clearly not doing their job if we have to kill everybody.
40 million. How many? It'd be like, oh my God, it'd be 300 million, 400, 500, 600 million years. Even longer than that to kill them all. Or no, 40. Yeah. I don't know. I can't even do the math, but it'd be a long time to genocide black people.
You know what the answer is? Internment camps.
No,
death camps. Death camps.
No, if they're really trying, y'all got to step up your game. But you know what?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna buy. Did you say that already? Well, I stole your thunder.
Look, do you want it done now or do you want it done right?
I'm buying guns, and they still let me do that right now. So,
I would say this: if I was black, I would want to buy a gun, and it wouldn't be to protect myself from cops. It'd be to protect myself from this insane law, because this insane law scares me more than a cop ever will.
Peter, I think the only reason you're allowed to buy a gun is because black on black crime, even though they won't admit it exists, they're kind of hoping you'll take out some of your own. That's the only reason.
There's 6,000 to 8,000 just murders of black people every year, and she's not calling that a genocide. But the 300 and maybe 10 maybe the unjustified killings of black people by the state. Which one's more of a genocide? I'm just saying.
Well, if there is such a thing as a genocide in this country, then this must be the worst performed genocide I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Can I just, if you don't think that black on black crime can be considered a genocide, then you probably don't think that what Stalin did was considered genocide either.
Oh no, he was perfectly fine. He's innocent.
I'm sure.
But even that, remember, we're talking 40 million people, so even that is a very tiny percentage. But the police one, it's man bite dog events, and maybe because it's so unusual is why it gets so much attention. But then again, why didn't the 16-year-old kid with the toy gun the other day get the same attention as the girl with the knife? Both on body cam. Now they didn't release the body cam of the boy, but the boy had a toy gun. He pointed at an officer and got shot, and then he tried to get up with a knife, got shot again, and they killed him. 16-year-old boy. Oh, he's only 16. Well, I don't think they had time to check his ID. Same with the girl with the knife. Oh, she's only 16. The officer didn't have time to check her ID, and she was about to stab some bitch to death. So
why didn't he just shoot the knife out of her hand? Like, I've played games. All you do is you hit the R1 button and time slows down and gives you more time to aim.
True.
It's that easy.
Well, here's the other thing too. On that note, too many motherfuckers watch too much TV, because that's not how it works. No.
I played it in a video game. It must be real.
Only people who would even be close to being that good a shot are not police officers. They're on the trick shot circuit. Okay. There's no, there's 17,000 police departments in the United States. Not 17,000 police, 17,000 police departments. Not everyone in the police department is Steven Seagal, okay? It's not like they can just run up and shoot a gun perfectly with the with that weird stance he takes every time.
Okay, so what you're saying is we need to clone Steven Seagal.
I don't think Steven Seagal can run very well today anyway.
I'd prefer Chuck Norris, but same thing. Not
Bruce Willis.
People on TV and movies always shoot the perfect shot.
Yeah.
Right through the forehead, or they shoot the knife out of the hand, or the guns, with the Old West gunslingers. Everyone thinks that's how it goes. You know how many those? So I was reading something about the gunfights, which were actually very few and far between, but usually, they would have that 6-shooter emptied while they're trying to have a gunfight because none of them could hit each other, and half the time people walked away from gunfights. But yeah, they'd knock off 6 shots and not hit anything because it's really hard. It's very hard to actually shoot a gun accurate like that.
Even if you're a good shot, you still are reliant on the accuracy of the gun, and especially with smaller guns that don't have an extra long barrel, they don't have that accuracy attached to them.
And that's why
that's why you upgrade them in the infantry screen.
Well, that's why officers are trained to shoot more than one shot. They usually don't shoot one shot. They'll shoot 4, 5, 6, or they'll empty their magazine because handguns are notoriously inaccurate. Not because of the gun itself or because the shoot, just because it's not easy to shoot accurately. A handgun in a quick situation, it's difficult. That's why they empty their magazines usually. And so, like the Dante Wright one where that you just mentioned there, where she thought she had a taser in her hand. Remember that one, guys?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why she only shot once?
Because she thought she was shooting a taser.
Because she thought she was shooting a taser.
Yep.
Because if she thought she was shooting guns, she would have shot several rounds.
Makes sense.
She was just racist, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, because he was black. Because they only shoot the black people who try to flee from the police and fight with the police. Oh wait, I could give you 25 examples from this year alone, or 100, because there's 141. Sorry, obviously I've been paying attention to this. I'm getting ready to make a video on something about this.
No, those numbers are too big to be genocide. Why does America get to act as though they are holier than thou? Why do they punish other nations for the exact same thing they do at home? Why does the world let America... Yeah, exact same.
I'm sorry, I have to say it every time.
Why does the world let America get away with almost anything? Isn't it time we muster the courage to speak up against the clear human rights violations we see taking place on American soil? I know that each nation has a sovereign right to govern its territory without interference from other countries. But when that country fails its own people, the rules must change, and other nations have an ethical and moral responsibility to call out bad behavior and curb it.
Every country has a right to do what they want, as long as they do what I want.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty simple concept, Terry.
I'm just explaining it to people, just in case they missed it.
Yeah. Even though Derek Chauvin was found guilty, my concern is that this will not stop the genocide.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Every single time. Nothing is ever going to be good enough for these people. Nothing will ever be good enough. Every time...
What do you mean by these people?
You say that, but I'm pretty sure a white person probably wrote this.
No.
It was a black woman.
I guarantee.
Isn't it Rebecca Stevens?
Yes.
I don't know. I just always assume it's a white woman.
No, I'm pretty sure this was Rebecca Stevens.
Point. That's a very good point. It's usually some white woman who wrote this kind of shit.
Yeah, but Jesus, it's nothing will ever be good enough. No matter how many victories a person like this gets, it will never be enough. There will always be a systemic problem. You don't know what the word systemic means.
I
Shut the
think
fuck up.
Rebecca Stevens A might be our equivalent of Scribes
wait.
Crystalliza.
No. Rebecca Stevens? Is that her name?
Rebecca Stevens A, I think it is.
Becky Stevens? You know, that girl's not white. She's mixed race. They ain't no black girl's named Becky Stevens. Come on now. You know she's mixed race. She ain't no black girl. No self-respecting black woman's gonna be named Becky Stevens.
I can't argue with that.
Come on, Becky.
That is true.
Come on, Becky. Come on. Oh my God.
But I do think she is the corner's equivalent of Lords of the Night's Crystalliza.
I don't know. I think that might be Marley K, though. The one where I always have to change white to Jew.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I guess we've got two then, because we do use both of those quite frequently.
Maybe one is Crystalliza and the other is Harry Enton.
There you go.
By the way, the views on the Frosted Glass channel do not necessarily reflect the views of the guests on the Frosted Glass channel.
Hey,
No,
Dawg
it's just
endorses everything said on this stream 100%.
No, it's just there's one author named Marley K, I think, and she always writes about how white people are behind every evil in the world and everything. So just to point out the double standard, whenever I read it, I replace the word white with Jew. And just to show how it sounds, it doesn't really sound very good, you know, when you replace the demographic.
Frosted learned this by all the time he spent on Stormfront.
Yeah, that too. Until pressure is put on the country, both externally and internally, to stop killing black people, I fear that this genocide will continue. Thank you for reading my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Becky Stevens. That was enlightening.
That's
your
Thank you, Becky.
That's
Your
our
perspective is round hole square peg.
I might have to go on Medium and respond to her.
I think you should. And you should send me the link, because I would like to read that.
Because I'm gonna, I think the first line. First of all, no self-respecting black woman's named Becky.
Also, notice one thing is that she never mentions numbers once.
No.
Nope. Well, that's because evidence is antithetical to her entire worldview.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like she says, oh, we saw it on the TV, several times in a short amount of time or whatever. Yeah, we need like numbers, statistics, things like that.
Oh, you can make those up. That's easy.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had for tonight, gentlemen. So...
Encore.
No.
No.
All right, we're going back to the first article.
No.
Saying you guys
God,
offensive.
Based on this article's viewpoint, I could commit genocide right now.
Mm-hmm.
No. We promised P-Dog he could live to the end of the stream.
I made it through without falling asleep, so I was entertained.
Moonshock is the only one who falls asleep on stream.
Hey, I'm awake, clearly, so I don't want to hear that shit.
All right. Well, I should say that there will not be a stream next week because I will be out of town, but we will be back the week after. We don't have a guest yet, but I'll figure that out. And
well, you don't need a guest because there's no stream.
Well, I mean for the one after. Let's see. Freaking Terry. All right. So I'll just show my co-host and guest. Jack Gunsky has Quippers United on his channel on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. Moonshock has his Twitch channel where he plays games that aren't as good as Super Seducer, which is linked in the description. Terry is on Johnny Hellcat's streams. He's on this. He's on Quippers United. He's on Delahay's Minions of the Zoo Nights and Next 6 Minute streams. Yeah. Yep. All right. And P-Dog, anything you want to shill?
I just put it in the chat. There's my channel. You can check me out. I do a morning show, the Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and occasionally a stream from the bar on Saturdays. And I make videos.
There it
Yeah.
is. I was going to say.
Oh, there it is.
I didn't see the shield because I didn't know if you had a wrench, but it just came through.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, is he wrenched? I hope so.
Oh, am I? Oh, I didn't even check.
No, you're wrenched.
Oh,
Yeah,
I am.
Yeah, you are.
I didn't even think about that. I usually wrench everywhere I go.
Yeah. Well, I always give the guest a wrench.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
All
Yeah,
right,
and you can follow me on Twitter also. Any social media, I'm at Dawg Night with no punctuation in between the letters. And so if you want to find me I'm active on Twitter and Minds, but if you want notifications for my streams and stuff, it's on Twitter, Minds, Gab, Parlor, Cloud Hub.
I'll have to follow you on Minds because I'm trying to use Minds a bit more. I don't post there, but I do try and read it. So if you post on there, I'll follow you.
Okay, cool.
I really think people should follow Dawg Night because he has accrued astonishingly few subscribers for someone who's been in the social media game for 51 years.
That's right.
You see how much engagement I get. Fuck, 51 years that video and not a single view. It kind of pissed me off.
He's moving as slowly as our genocide.
Right.
There he is, Dawg Night.
Well, they're trying to genocide me, but I'm just too quick and agile.
All right. Well, don't forget to subscribe and hit like, everybody, because we could always use more subscribers. And we'll see you the week after next week.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.